This morning, we are continuing our segment focused on monitoring men's health. And with only a few days left in the month of March, we want to focus on diabetes. That's because March is National Nutrition Month.
And while certain ages and races, ethnicities are at a higher risk for diabetes, it really all boils down to diet. Dr. Stanley Matthew talks about how you should view this as a lifestyle change, taking small baby steps towards healthier eating.
Avoid looking at it as a diet, look at it as changing maybe dietary patterns, looking at it as making small changes, limiting processed foods, cutting down sugar sweetened beverages, cutting down fruit juices. These are all low-hanging fruit, I think, that we can possibly, aim to go first.
Yeah, so that low-hanging fruit Dr. Matthew mentioned are small steps that are easy for you. Like if you drink a soda each day, that's loaded in sugar. And also you could try just taking out the sugar in your coffee because, we drink that every day as well.
Good point. Good point. And one of the things about this is little steps. Just every little bit counts.
Yeah.
Every little bit counts. And these new fads like fasting are popular among people these days who are trying to cut their weight or simply watch their calories. Megan Swanson, a dietitian, talks about why that might not be the best thing to do.
That they skip carbohydrates at certain points in times during their day and save them all for later, their blood sugars can actually respond negatively to that and be higher after they eat that meal. The body is more sensitive to that carbohydrate that they're eating at that point in time. So spacing them out throughout the day allows the body's insulin levels to respond a bit more appropriately.
All right, so instead of skipping food and drink altogether, just try spacing things out with your snacks throughout the day.
Yeah. And, all diets aren't created equal. What might work for you might not necessarily work for me.
Not everybody's day of eating is going to look the same. Some people may feel great with only 2 meals a day and a snack, or some people may be more snackers and only have 1 large meal and do just fine, because we can work consistency of carbohydrates into meal plans like that.
So another thing to keep in mind, Dr. Matthew mentioned that if you're over 35 and you've noticed weight gain, especially around your midsection, you need to get tested for diabetes. BMI that's over 25% increases that risk. And again, it goes back to what you're eating and drinking, like the empty calories that we sometimes indulge in when it comes to adult beverages. Yeah. And of course, you think about the snacks that you're eating. Is it loaded with sugar or does it have a little bit of the healthy stuff in it?
And it's not just diet, too. You also need to exercise and keep the body moving because that will help burn a lot of those calories away. But keep this in mind, too, about diabetes. By getting tested early and monitoring your blood levels, you can attack this and control this.
Yeah.
It's not a death sentence.
Absolutely.
But it can lead to some problems down the line, especially when you think about your kidneys.
Yeah, and you're talking about people that are over 35 that start to weight gain, even things like if you're getting blurry vision from time to time and you don't know why, that could be diabetes. And of course, it's the signs that you want to watch out for, but also the lifestyle changes that you can take to curb that. Because in fact, if you can get it under control, they talk about how manageable it is, that sometimes a lot of those symptoms will just go away.
Yeah.
So
prevention. I love
helps.
what the doctor was saying, basically just a little bit here. Don't start off changing the diet altogether all at once. Just take little steps, taking certain things out that you probably know aren't that great. And it's something that is very important in the Black community because of the foods that a lot of folks grew up eating over the course of time contained a lot of fats, a lot of things like this, which not good at all.
Well, and a lot of folks will say, like, oh, it's in my genes, where it's not necessarily in your genes. It's just from the way that you've been raised. And that's why it goes back to lifestyle. You can't think, okay, I'm going to try this for a week or a month. But if you take those small baby steps, you'd be surprised at how far you can come in just the course of a year.
It's not in your genes. Most likely, it's on your plate.
Yes.
Stay with us now. Today in St. Louis at 6 a.m. starts right now.